What's going on, guys? Jimmy Mahalik here. I have a quick second stimulus check update today for you guys. In this video, we have new good news from the White House. We're going to cover that. So I'm going to give you guys a quick update about the possibility of hazard pay for essential workers and our hero workers that have helped us out through this pandemic. But first, if you guys aren't subscribed yet to this channel, click the subscribe button down below. It's completely free to do so. This way you won't miss out on second stimulus check updates. And also on this channel, I have videos about personal finance and ways to make money from home. Also, if you can, hit the like button for me down below. It really helps out my channel. Okay, so the HEROES Act that has been passed by the House of Representatives and is being waited to voted on by the Senate includes a $1,200 stimulus check for Americans and also hazard pay, along with a lot of other things. That bill, which was mainly supported by the Democrats in the House of Representatives and passed, the House of Representatives is controlled by the Democrats, that was a $3 trillion bill. And the Republicans initially said that they didn't want to pass anything like that, and they didn't want anything to do with that. And then in recent days, we've started to hear things like Mitch McConnell, the lead Republican in the Senate, and the Senate is Republican controlled, saying that the next stimulus bill must be around $1 trillion or under $1 trillion, which was really good news because that's them saying that they're agreeing to or they're okay with a up to $1 trillion stimulus. Well, in just recent news, President Donald Trump has come out and said that he wants at least $2 trillion in the next stimulus package. According to White House trade advisor Peter Navarro, the president wants the next stimulus bill to be at least $2 trillion. This is nearly double the $1 trillion amount the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said he would target, and two-thirds the size of the $3 trillion HEROES Act that House Democrats passed. Navarro said the focus of the next stimulus bill could be manufacturing jobs, and that the focus should be to buy American, hire American, and make it in the USA. So we're starting to see repeated support from the Republicans that they want another stimulus package, and they're even raising the amount that they're willing to go with of the second stimulus package. And this includes a check to Americans. Now, if you kind of do the math and you figure out based on the $1 trillion that the Republicans were initially okay with, there is about 5% of that bill which would go to Americans in the form of a stimulus check. And that's kind of unfortunate. I feel like we should have more than 5% of the stimulus go to Americans. But if you kind of do the math there and see what's left over for Americans, that is about a $1,000 stimulus check, which probably would just go to $1,200 because that's the number that's proposed in the HEROES bill of the second stimulus check. Now, if the second stimulus bill does go as high as $2 trillion and that same amount goes directly to Americans in the form of a check, which would be 5% again, that leaves about $2,000 to be able to go to Americans. So we've heard a lot about the $2,000 stimulus checks. You guys have told me down in the comments that you're really for the $2,000 checks. Now, this wouldn't be a $2,000 monthly reoccurring check or a $2,000 retroactive check. But if the president and the White House, who's the leader of the Republicans, says he's okay with $2 trillion, that would leave about $2,000 per American for a direct stimulus check. Now, ultimately, President Donald Trump will be the one that has to sign any stimulus bill into law. But he doesn't really control the voting in the House or the Senate. He does have a lot of sway over Republicans, and pretty much Republicans always tend to vote along with the president if the president is also Republican. So I want to know, what do you guys think? Also, there's been some recent speculation that the reason the Republicans are delaying voting on the second stimulus check package and negotiating to actually get something passed is that they want to delay it so it's closer to the election. Donald Trump is up for re-election in November of this year, And there's been a lot of speculation that Republicans are delaying that so that the second stimulus check passes closer to the election. And that this way, when Americans go to vote, they'll have fresh on their minds that Donald Trump and the Republicans gave them another second stimulus check. And if Americans do think that President Trump passed another second stimulus check for them, that will lead to more votes for him. It's kind of a good strategy if you want to get votes, which I understand, but it's a bad strategy for Americans who are struggling right now, who can't go to work, can't get unemployment, can't pay their bills because the country's shut down or just starting to reopen. So my question for you guys is, do you think that Donald Trump should get the credit for a second stimulus check when it passes? Let me know down below in the comments. And if you read between all the lines here, the Democrats are saying $3 trillion, the Republicans were saying $1 trillion, and now the White House and Republican Donald Trump is saying $2 trillion. So they're all saying that it's going to be anywhere between $1 trillion and $3 trillion. So what that really means is that we are going to see a second stimulus check. And it's very likely because everybody's saying we're going to see a second stimulus check. So since Republicans and Democrats are both saying that a next stimulus check is likely, the question remains is, will another $1,200 check be enough for Americans? Or will we need $2,000 or more? The problem with the first check is that 84% of Americans didn't even expect the first check of $1,200 to last even a month. So you guys can let me know down below in the comments, how long did your first stimulus check last you? And do you think a second stimulus check of $1,200 will be enough? Or do you think it needs to be $2,000 or more? Like, what do you think is enough without it being too much money? So it seems more and more likely that we are going to get a second stimulus check. The questions that remain is, when will it happen? And how much will it be for us? So make sure you guys are subscribed to this channel. I will keep you guys updated when I have the answers to those questions. And as we lead up to it, we'll be able to kind of figure this out more and more. Also, down below in the description, I have a link to the Webull investing app. You can get up to 2 free stocks valued at up to $1,400 for free. Link is down below in the description. Also, I've had a lot of comments from you guys asking about hazard pay. Will there be hazard pay and how much will there be? We have seen some hazard pay from grocery stores and companies like Amazon in the form of a $2 per hour raise while the pandemic was really hot and the country was shut down. But for most of those companies, they have already stopped that hazard pay. The question remains, will there be additional hazard pay? And I think there's actually a pretty good chance of seeing more hazard pay. As you can see here, the $3 trillion stimulus package that was the HEROES Act that passed the House included a provision for hazard pay for more than 100,000 Americans, including up to $200 billion in hazard pay for essential workers in that bill. As you can see here, there's no law that requires employers to offer hazard pay, although some companies have done so through the outbreak. So it was really cool for those companies to offer an additional increase in pay for hazard pay. I mean, it was a lot better than not giving anything. I mean, there were a lot of industries that didn't get any extra hazard pay. You guys can let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. So who would receive hazard pay if this bill were to pass, or we see a similar bill pass in the future? And you can see all these different people here: first responders, grocery store workers, restaurant workers, warehouse workers, education workers. There's actually a whole list of people here that would qualify for hazard pay. And the maximum payment for workers who make under $200,000 per year would be $10,000. And for employees who make more than that, the maximum would be a $5,000 hazard pay bonus. But this is still up for negotiation. That's the bill that passed the House, and we're waiting on the Senate to pass it. And the Senate says they aren't going to pass it in their current form. They're going to negotiate on this stuff. So I will keep you guys updated as I hear more news about all this stuff. So stay tuned. And over here, I'll link some more second stimulus videos that you can watch next. And over here, I'll link a playlist that teaches you how to start selling on Amazon. I have students that have replaced their entire 9 to 5 income by selling one product on Amazon. Thanks guys, and I will see you in the next video.